Turn around this way. This way.
Show us the
Behind
back.
you.
How y'all doing out there? All right, it is my pleasure to introduce the CSI Voice Actors Panel.
Hello, everybody. My name is Final Draft, and I'm the network director of Everfree Network. Welcome to the first 2013 BronyCon VA panel. I would like to call up onto stage a few people of note, and I would like to begin with Mr. Lee Tokar. Lee, why don't you have a seat?
I love you too. I love Bane with the pony on the back. That's awesome.
We were watching what was on the screens from behind. It was hilarious.
Super fun.
Show's been taken down by Hasbro. It's great.
That was brilliant. That's brilliant.
All right, next I'd like to call up onto stage Nicole Oliver.
I know.
You're a voice actor, not a stage manager.
I'm here. I'm down.
Is that how you do the Celestia voice like that?
It will be in the year 2034. It's not
All
a
right.
product placement.
Next up, Miss Kathy Westlock.
Hey, every pony, how you doing? Looking good, bronies. Looking real good.
All right, next, Brenda Critchlow.
Maybe I can use this.
Sure, I don't mind.
I love Baltimore.
Next up, our penultimate VA, Maddie Peters. All right, and last but not least, and I call her up to the stage last because she was hitting me with her badge backstage. I want her as far away from me as possible. No. Michelle Krieber.
I'm special. I get 2 chairs.
Remember at Camelot Gardens where we were going to get you a booster seat, Michelle?
Wow. Okay. If that's how you feel about me, that's
No, it's okay. It's okay. Whatever.
That's cool. That's
whatever.
You know what?
Mike.
What? Anyway, well, I figured we could just go down the line and you guys could introduce yourselves and who you voice and, you know, introduce yourself to these people.
My name is Lee and I play Snips. As well, I also play
Stephen Magnet, the fabulous sea serpent. With only half a mustache. I think this is the new symbol now, I guess. I just made that up, I don't know.
They're going to come up to you at this convention, you know, now. Every time they see you, they're just going to You should do it.
And I think I also played the shopkeeper, but I can't remember what he sounded like. So
Make it up.
Yeah, make it up. Is it? No, I can't. And I also played the angry, the foul-mouthed beaver as well. As well. Yes, perhaps you know me as that character I played in one scene. Anyway, I'm really happy to be here. This is you guys are awesome. I was watching on the screen back. You guys are so silly. I love it. I love you guys.
My name is Nicole Oliver, and I voice Cheerily.
One of the peppiest teachers around,
And also Princess Celestia. And yeah, really happy to be back at BronyCon in Baltimore. Oh, been busy time. You guys look great. Wow. Put a big smile on my face. Look at all you. Smile back. Yeah, I know, it's great. And you are my new best friend.
Well, we're not short of energy in this room, are we, every pony? So everybody's doing awesome? As you can see, I play the voice of Spike the Dragon. And Mayor, who wishes the Orioles a very good season. But I was wondering, you guys, I was thinking, like, I was talking to the cakes, and I said, wouldn't it be awesome if we had, like, Baltimore Oreo cookies?
Oh.
Yeah, that was Gummy's joke, right?
I think she planned that one.
Anyways, those are the characters I play and incidentals, and we're thrilled to be here, and it's fun to be back at BronyCon 2013. So have an awesome weekend.
Hi, everybody. How y'all doing? I want you to know I am thrilled to be here. My name is Brenda Critchlow, and I play Zecora. As Snowflake said, some of you may know Snowflake. Shout out to some of the brilliant military bronies. Z to the E to the C-O-R-A, Zecoralicious.
and I'm Maddie Peters, and I'm Scootaloo. And I'm so excited to be here. This is only my second con, and it's definitely my biggest by far. Like so many of you out there, such awesome cosplays and everything. I love it.
Scoot, scoot, scootaloo! Scoot, scoot, scootaloo!
Hello, everyone. I'm also very excited to be here. This is also the biggest con I've been to, and it's my 10th con, so it's sort of like my 10th con-anniversary, I think. So I'm really excited, and I just want to say thank you to each and every one of you, because this is just, we're all so lucky, and you guys have given us such a big gift of support and love, And thank you. Also, on topic again, I'm Michelle Grieber. I voice Ava Blue, and aren't you gonna stay for brunch?
Well, you also do the singing voice for Sweetie Belle.
True.
I've heard her try and sing Hush Now, Quiet Now to people. She just does that in, instantaneously.
Hush now, quiet now, it's time to lay your sleepy hair. I said hush now, quiet now, it's time to go to bed. Drifting off to sleep with the door, dream then find you. Always forget the lyrics of the song on the palms of the Hush now, quiet now, lay your sleepy head. Say hush now, quiet now, it's time to go to bed. I always forget that one part. Say board. Something like that.
That'll be stuck in my head for 3 decades now.
Michelle, when are you ever going to come out of your shell and just open up in front of people? Stop being so darn shy.
Where do these children get the energy?
Well, Michelle, you're going to be doing a concert tonight, I believe.
Yes.
Right here on this stage. And you're going to be playing, I believe, with Ponyville Kenobi, with Black Griffin.
Living Tombstone and Mike the Microphone. It's awesome. It's going to be in here at 8 to 8:30, so definitely stop by for that. It's going to be awesome, and as I said in the opening ceremonies, this is Black Griffin's first convention ever.
He flew here all the way from Australia.
So you better come, because it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, it's going to be crazy. Well, I wanted to ask you guys something. I mean, the VAs, that is. I'm looking at the crowd. I want to ask you guys. This is probably the largest convention or Brony event that has ever occurred in the entire fandom by far. The numbers are just ridiculous. And I know, especially in Michelle's case, but also in other cases, that oftentimes when you go around a convention, you'll see something like maybe somebody cosplayed as something or a piece of merchandise that you really like. Have you guys seen anything at this convention already that surprised you or anything that you're looking forward to see?
I have to go shopping to the vendors thing after. That's our plan, to go walk around and see what's down there. But there's some wicked costumes. There's a guy and this big white. Is it the DJ Paul?
Yeah, it was like a vinyl scratch. And he's this like massive.
Must be hot in there.
And I hope he's staying hydrated. That was amazing.
We went through the vendors thing this morning and saw some awesome stuff. The art's incredible, from mugs to pins to the plushies. I can't believe that one vendor sold out the plushies, I don't know, all her merchandise already. So you better get over there, everybody, every pony, because it's going fast.
And I'm going to second that, or third that, I guess. Kathy and I did that just before this panel started, and my goodness, the artwork out there. I'm going to just do a general shout out. If somebody can talk to somebody and find me a Zakora something or other, I'll be happy to promote and publicize, because I'm looking for some seriously I was going to say badass art. Can I say that? I'm going to get around tomorrow and see some more art, but I have to say, beautiful stuff and just the creativity. Amazing. So get on over there and support the vendors.
Yeah, I can't wait to hit the Artist Alley and see all the vendors and everything. I want to get myself some Doctor Who's things because I'm a huge Doctor Who fan.
I think we've got a few Doctor Who's fans in here, just a couple.
Can you go down?
Yeah.
Hi. Is that already for, gosh, you guys are so slow.
Art.
Is that for Brenda?
Thank you. You drew pictures for us.
You drew pictures for all of us. That's
Come
cool.
on up. Oh, come on.
Don't fall off the stage, Mike. Oh my God.
Leaping lizards.
Everybody, this is a convention staple right now. Nicole going and greeting a fan at the panel. Well, do you want the drawings, Nicole? I guess not. All right.
Let's have a peekaloo.
What's that?
Let's have a peekaloo.
Hand these out when he gets back.
Hello.
Everybody, this is Zach.
Well, you gotta wave to the
Zach,
crowd.
wait,
Say
you
hi
think
to the
this is your
crowd.
talk show? You're gonna take them? Okay, go, Zach. Go. Here's Mike.
Yeah, look at the camera. Say hi to everybody.
Hey, everyone. This first one, I figured that Nicole gets a lot of Princess Celestia stuff. So instead, 80s Cheerily.
80s Cheerily, nice.
Second one is for, I'm going to give you your mic back. Second one is for Michelle. Apple Bloom.
So thank you.
The third one
is for
Kathy.
Awesome!
Aww. Thank you so much. She has a cutie mark. Oh my God. That is beautiful.
Colored.
Ooh. Ooh. I say thank you. Very nice.
Beautiful.
Thank you. Funny, so I figured I'd say this one for the last.
Right.
Come on, put up your dukes. Put up your dukes. Come on.
Thank you
like a
very
Mortal
much.
What is your name again? Your name?
Thank you. Thanks so much.
Labor of love.
Labor of love. Labor of love, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Zach.
Thank you.
While he was handing out, when he handed you the drawing, Brenda, you did something that really cracks me up every time. And you explained this at EQLA. When you get into the voice of Zecora, you said that you did these vocal exercises where you go, you bring your voice down. Every time you do that, I always think of like a coffee commercial or something. So she's getting handed the drawing, and I hear, and I'm thinking, Folgers in the morning.
And now that will
I
be
was
drawn
just
and on the
thinking
internet,
that.
right?
Product placement.
I'm glad it resonates.
Convention brought to you by the makers of Folgers Coffee.
Mike, can we get into questions and bring any kids down?
Say it, Brenda. Say it. Folgers. Say it.
I can only say,
Say it.
Folgers. You know, I'm thrilled that everyone loves the character, the voice being so low. I guess I'm the only one with a low resonating sound, and it's nice to be able to share that. Woohoo!
It cracks me up. Well, because we were running a little bit behind, I not want to take up you guys' time with too many of my own questions. I think we should throw this straight to Q&A.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Because I know these guys are really excited to answer your questions. The way this is going to work, there is a microphone there, and there is a microphone over there. Line up at those microphones, please, in an orderly fashion. Remember,
Yes.
they
Single
cannot
file, please.
answer any questions about unaired material. So season 16, a little bit off record, sorry.
And could you please if there's any little bronies, if you could let them at the front of the line, that would be
Yeah,
awesome.
any kids, let them come to the front of the line.
Go ahead. My first question is for Kathy Westluck.
Hi.
Hello. Which voice in your repertoire do you feel best embodies the spirit of a drain pipe?
Best embodies the spirit of which?
A drain pipe.
A drain pipe.
The drain pipe, of course. My claim to fame. Thank you.
That was the voice you had done?
Pardon me?
Oh, that was the voice you had done?
That was the drain pipe.
Wow. And my second question is for all the VAs. One VA in an interview stated that a voice director had told her, could you read that line again, but this time with a little more acting? So my question is, have you guys ever gotten any particularly lame or unhelpful voice directing advice?
All the time. Kidding.
I don't think it. Moose. There's a lot of moose in here.
There's a lot of moose in here.
Oh, look, a moose.
I think it's always a case where an actor has an idea about how they want to approach the line or approach the scene. And so we do that in a run through, or we do that through the first run. And then the director will come back because they have the storyboards, they have actually what's in front. Sometimes I know with my own character, I have facial, expressions that I wouldn't realize is there. So they then give us the directions. So it's just a choice difference that, we come up with and they alter it. So that's really what it, I think, amounts to mostly.
And to be honest, some of the directors that we work for also cast other cartoons, so it's really not in our best interest to name names or... So I have never received any bad direction, ever.
Have you ever told a lie?
Never.
No, I have never told a lie.
Never.
No.
Thank you. So go over this side, right? Oh,
Thank
awesome.
you all.
Look at that.
Oh, that's a nice pinky pie.
Hi, what's your name? Where are you from? Right there on the right. Hi, you. With a microphone.
How much practice do you put into your work? Like voice acting?
Wow, that's a great question.
Good question.
For some characters, sometimes it's a lot. I always warm up so that I can keep doing this day after day, month after month, year after year, so I don't shred my chords. But I think everyone has different ways of warming up, and depending on the character, sometimes you need to do a little bit more than others.
I think also the more you do a character, like with our recurring roles on Pony, we've been doing this for several years now, so you kind of get into a really good sort of idea of what the character is and how they act. So it's easier, when you've been doing it over a long period of time, because you get used to it.
Yeah, it gets easier and easier to get into character. She's next.
And depending on the role as well, and I could talk about cartoons or I could just talk about straight voiceover copy. Sometimes you're actually taking the written word and you're trying to goal it, so you're looking to see, well, what nuance or what emphasis can I bring out to make that script come alive. So sometimes you'll look at somebody's script and there's a lot of squiggles and writing and, okay, I want to make sure that I get this across. So sometimes there's a little bit of prep work with that too, depending on what script we're working on.
I don't know. I'm not acting. I'm just being myself.
That answer your question? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Good question.
We're just going to go over here now. I think it's the little girl in the red. Okay.
Hi, how you doing?
Good.
Hi, how are you?
Hi.
Hello, Lee.
Hello.
It's okay.
Use your words. Use your words.
Yeah.
First,
It's okay.
It's okay.
First, I have a question for Kathy Westluck there. I understand that in the previous generation of My Little Pony, that at certain times you voiced, quite ironically, you voiced Rarity as well, and now you're voicing Spike. Like what? I mean, just a couple days ago, I realized that, and like, what do you think of that as a fact?
It's a great question.
It messes with my head.
I think it's awesome.
Well, they were very different rarities, of course, and for those who haven't seen that show, that rarity was a sweet little girl unicorn, actually, a tiny little unicorn, and it was really, it was from the show called the Runaway Rainbow, and it was really a very, very different character than the rarity of today. The age was different, the character was different. And she was a very innocent, sweet little character that was responsible for the creating the rainbows, the Rainbow Parade. And it was really fun to do because I got to do a lot of singing in that show too and play a different child, this time a little girl. So just having that opportunity was fun. But it had nothing really to do with the rarity of today. I think it's just a funny coincidence that I'm playing Spike now and I was a rarity before. What does that mean for the next time? It was a lot of fun, yeah.
Also, I have a little something for Nicole Oliver as well. Do you mind if I give it to you, Nicole?
No, I don't mind at all.
There you go. Dun 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 dun. Oh, there you go. Awesome.
Okay, next question.
Thank you very much for the question.
Hi, what's your favorite thing about My Little Pony?
Our favorite thing?
Yeah, like what do you like most? What do you like most about My Little Pony?
Being
You
part
guys,
of the show.
you guys,
Yeah, coming out.
right there, right in front of us.
And being part of such a wonderful movement, you know, friendship is magic, and you guys have proven over the last couple of years that friendship truly is magic. You've shown it amongst yourselves, you know, reaching out to charities, each other, and I just hope we can continue this forever and ever more. So thank you for all your support. It's been a pleasure
thank you
being a part
guys.
of it.
It really is about you guys. It really is.
Okay, over here. Oh, it's too tall for you.
I know how that feels.
First off,
what?
Thank you.
Really high.
Aw.
There you go.
Okay. All right. My first question is, are any of the staff of Friendship is Magic allowed to read any fan-related work?
That's a good question.
Are we able to, are we allowed to
Are
read?
you allowed to like look at it and stuff?
Yes.
We're
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
We can look at it.
Like art and comics and writing.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can enjoy it. Yep.
Yeah.
There's so much out there too. Yeah.
And my second question is for Kathy. Is first of all, I'm a huge fan. I watched G3 as a little
Thanks
girl.
so much.
And
I think you and I are the same height, too. That's awesome.
Thank you.
I was going to bring you my ladder from the library, but I think it's too high.
My question for all of you is, well, how is it all working together? How do you actually pull it off? Because sometimes it's hard to work together, and I know because I have a brother.
Touche, touche.
Younger, by the way.
That's
and,
a great
well,
question.
how do you all make it work out in the end? If you ever fight.
Well, I don't think we've ever. Well, I mean, not that you guys know, but gonna have an image. We kind of try to keep that friendly, but no.
Yeah, me and Michelle, nope, not friends at all. Mortal enemies.
I have personally witnessed the voice actors have voice-offs between each other. I think that's one way they might settle disputes. I don't know. This is something I've noticed. They try to see who can be goofier.
No, we don't.
Oh.
No.
Yeah.
Never.
Peter and
That
I.
never happens. Never. Nope, that
Nope.
never happens.
Nope. Well, thank you guys.
Thank you very much.
Oh, there he is.
Hi, I'm wondering, for Michelle, and I can't remember what real life Scootaloo's name is, so...
Maddie.
Okay, Maddie, what do you think Apple Bloom and Scootaloo would say if they got their cutie mug? What would they say, as soon as it happened?
Oh, sweet applesauce!
Okay, so first of all, I'm so glad to see all of you. Like, you all are like voice acting inspiration to me, and I just want to let you know that I love every single one of you.
Thank you.
My question is for
Do you
Nicole
want to be a
Oliver.
voice actor as well?
Yes, very much so.
Okay, cool.
And my question is for Nicole Oliver. You actually play my favorite character, Princess Celestia, and and one thing that I happen to notice about Princess Celestia is she's kind of like a dual character. She happens to be kind and loving, but also commanding and authoritative. So what advice would you give an aspiring voice actor on doing like dual personality, sort of like that?
Well, I think in life, we're not flat, are we? We're many different colors and many different shades, and I feel like I'm doing an answer that you've done before. Kathy gave you a great answer about this one time, I remember now. Yeah, very many different colors and shades, and I know I've heard Kathy talk. She's a great teacher, by the way. She's an incredible teacher for voice acting. And I've heard her speak and heard students tell me about the interaction with her, because you say you want to do this. It's being brave enough to look in the mirror and love everything that comes back at you, even those colors maybe you don't really think are appropriate, but you need all of the shades, right, to act. So I think it's just about watch lots of things, know what's going on out there, practice, 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 have lots of fun, be willing to jump off the cliff and just fly. And yeah, you are great, and you have to bring you so that you can make other characters from that, right? So.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
First of all, a little warning, I have a speech impediment, so if you don't understand me, I'll repeat the question. First of all, I'd like to thank you all for what you have done with the show. And then I actually have two questions. My first question for Nicole Oliver. There's this video where Gladys leaves a letter to Princess Celestia, and I'm wondering if Princess Celestia has a reply to Gladys for the portal game.
Okay, can you repeat your question? I'm getting a lot of echo. I can't hear it back. I'm sorry.
No, I do apologize.
No, it's not you. It's just echo up here, so I can't hear. Yeah.
Well, the question is, there's a video on the internet where Gladys writes a letter to Princess Celestia, and I'm wondering if Celestia has a reply to Gladys.
Yeah, okay, so what he's talking about is there's a video online of, you're talking about GLaDOS from Portal, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, there's a video online where GLaDOS is that robotic voice from the game Portal. Have you seen that?
No.
Yeah, well, Portal is an incredible, how many people in here have played Portal? Uh-huh. Wow. How many people in here are fans of GLaDOS?
So not many then.
No.
I'm awake.
No.
It's an obscure reference. No.
Basically
a robot voice.
Okay, well, I haven't seen it, so I will have to look at it, and then I can answer your question. I'll find you. I'm here all weekend. We'll talk about it. How's that?
Thank you.
It's like a wave of sound. Wow! Clearly.
Yeah, I just got caught up with Minecraft and Clash of Clans. Like, that's kind of where I'm at. So this is like overloading.
Next question.
Hello.
Hello.
I'd like to propose a scenario here, actually.
Those are dangerous words.
Remember, keep it PG. There are children in the room.
Audience. PG audience.
So let's say one of your characters was to suddenly take a total 360 and become the most evil character the MLB universe has ever seen.
Oh my.
What would the first thing they do or say?
Evil. Right? Yeah, whatever.
I think Kathy's got that one in the bag. Oh my God.
For those who have seen Equestria Girls.
Did you guys like Equestria Girls? Woo! How many have seen it more than once?
Woo! Wow. Sorry, back to your question. If we were evil,
Yes, if you were to turn evil, what would you say or do? What
I
be
would
the
marry
first thing?
Discord and we would live in chocolate pudding.
Well, Zecora, Ooh, that would be scary.
It would be a,
What did you probably have like a moment. Whoa, I don't know.
What?
Yeah, shout out that you probably wouldn't understand.
It's like an evil chant.
I don't know.
I'm going to.
Evil enchantress. She's an evil enchantress.
I'd make every single pony a blank blank.
Oh.
A what?
All right then.
Oh no. That's my answer.
Next question.
Thank you.
I think what scares me, Kathy, is it sounds like you've been practicing that.
I really just, I want to learn to be a voice actor myself. I'd like to know if you have any like tips for me.
You'd like to know what was the last part?
A couple like tips for
Tips.
voice acting.
Sure.
Well, I think we say this a lot. Theater is great. Getting yourself in front of an audience, being comfortable in your own voice, because, voice acting is all about, getting out of your own skin and exploring new characters and new voices and everything. So you have to be willing to do that, to be a voice actor. And I think that's a very important thing. So yeah.
A lot of it too is getting used to the sound of your own voice. Because I teach as well as Kathy, and one of my students last month, we put together a demo reel for him, and I thought it was very good. And he said to me in the next class, he says, "I really don't like the sound of my voice." And I said, "And you want to be a voice actor, and that's what you're coming to me with." So you've really got to get yourself a little recording device, something, even on an iPhone, and just get used to the sound of your own voice and find out what you think is the best quality of your voice that makes you sound unique. And practice, practice, practice. Read everything, find new voices, learn the tricks that we all have. Try other accents if you want, or try being an old person, a young person, or just find out the thing that makes your voice unique. And keep practicing, keep listening to it, and keep getting better. And then take some training. Go to somebody who teaches and learn the craft. Find out who is doing what you want to do, find out how they did it, and do that.
I'm going to add to that.
And be confident in yourself. You must leave inhibitions at the door. It's really no room for it. You got to believe in yourself, and believe in what you do, and believe in the person you are.
Let me introduce you.
No, it's okay. I was going to say, too, that it's important that everybody realize that their own natural voice is a character, too. It's not all crazy, cartoony voices. A lot of the actors that do animation work use their own natural voice for human being drawn characters or animals or inanimate objects. And the young kids, more than likely, you're going to be using your own voice range, and maybe someone who's like a little brother or a little animal. But don't forget the real voicing, too, being characters. And practice. Like Lee was saying, record yourself and hack around with your friends, play with, ad-lib a lot, and get that down. And then, as Lee said, eventually do get a good instructor who is actually out there doing work, is voice acting. And for those of you who ask about voice acting, find out who the talent agents are in your area. And they're the best people to go to find out who's teaching, because they want their on-camera actors to also branch out into voice acting, so they're really good at knowing who the good people are in your area.
The first job I got actually was using my own voice. That was my first gig, was for doing, I don't mind saying it was kokanee beer. I don't know if you guys, so it was kokanee, glacier fresh taste, straight from the Kootenays, and I was known as that hungover college kid voice. So I was like, glacier fresh taste, straight from the Kootenays. And it was basically my own voice, but just tweaked a little bit. So yeah, Kathy's totally right. You could find your own niche doing your own voice.
Okay, so they've said everything that I was going to say, but I'm just going to embellish a little bit and say, in our hometown, between Kathy and Lee, for their teaching skills, they're who I would recommend you to go and take a workshop from. So then you're learning from someone who's a professional, someone who's booking and working, and you can get all your tips from a real pro. So training overall that's the big thing right there. So you'll know if it's for you.
Yeah, and to be honest about your range, because everybody wants to be a voice actor and everybody wants to do all the voices that exist out there, and we're not realistic about what our range is. And when you find out what that is and be natural with that, that's where your best luck will be and your best space.
Yeah.
Thanks for the question.
Yeah, good question.
Thanks.
Hi, my name is Brendan, and
Hi, Brendan.
Hi, Brendan.
Hi, Brendan.
This is my first convention ever, and this is my first BronyCon.
I just have a quick question for the crowd. How many people are here at their first convention ever?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
Awesome.
Wow, that's awesome.
You guys having fun? You guys still like Portal?
Okay, so I just wanted to say, you guys are so awesome, and you just, I can't really get the words out. It's, you guys are just so awesome, and I wish that the other, that the main six were here because I could tell them the same thing. You helped us all come together. You guys are wonderful.
Thank you.
And my question is, if you guys met your pony character, well, as far as your characters go, if you met your character, what would the first thing you would do with them? Like, what would you do to hang out with them?
Well, mine is a unicorn, and I've always wanted to ride a unicorn, so I would demand that Snips take me for a ride.
Yeah, I would too, probably. And then I'd brush her hair.
I would take Spike to the local mine, get as many gemstones as I could find.
Smart. For Zecora, it's all about the magic. So I would love to have a peek at her book. I'm sure she has a book of spells.
I think that I would go for a scooter with Scootaloo, or maybe on a roller coaster, something adventurous. That's something we have in common.
I think I would help her find her cutie mark. Yeah? Because they do all this crazy stuff, you know? Zip lining, that's cool. Skiing, maybe. Jet skiing, I don't know. Probably something crazy would happen, so.
Actually, I would take Stephen Magnet in a tank and transport him into the fountain in the middle of town so he could be in more episodes.
That would be so awesome.
But I think you would go and get your moustaches done, wouldn't you? Wouldn't that be the first thing you would do, is go get your moustaches done? Your moustaches? No?
What?
Would you go and get your moustaches
I couldn't
done?
understand you through that thick accent there. I'm sorry.
You would go and get your mustaches done. You'd go, you know, to the salon maybe. I don't know. Stephen
It's
Magnet,
pretty
you and
hard.
What
Steven.
in the world are
Next
you
question.
saying?
I don't know.
Next question.
You and Steven.
Thank
The
you,
voices are
Brendan.
echoing
Thank
from
you,
what
Brendan.
Thank you for your
echo
question.
so up.
Thank you very much for your question.
Yes, sir.
All right, hey guys.
That was a good question.
I'm with the Cross-Strait Daily. We are super psyched to have you guys here, and thank you for everything that you've done.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
Yeah.
Pleasure.
We're still around, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so this question is for Nicole. If Princess Celestia had to spend an evening with Discord entertaining him, what would they do together?
Everybody get out your books, start writing, and give it to Mitch. He's here. I'm going to pitch him. We're going to pitch him. Well, I think we talked about, I tweeted about going bowling. I think we talked about going to Legion for a beer, just to kind of cash it out a lot.
I think bingo night was in there too.
Bingo night. There's a bingo night. Maybe a nice romantic dinner with some rose petals. You know, walk on the beach holding hoofs. I don't know, something weird. We'd get there. Be good. I'd try on his wings. I'd let him use my barrette. I don't know. We cosplay. It could be good. It'd be fun.
And at the end of the evening, who do you think would get the upper hoof over the other?
That would be me.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
I really like My Little Pony. I'm pretty sure everybody
everybody here likes My Little Pony. I think. I'm pretty sure. I have two things. My first question is, how was it working for a movie for Equestria Girls? How was it from like a 30-minute show to a 1-hour length feature film?
I remember recording it, and I was going, oh my God, they're human! Like, I didn't realize, like, I wasn't there. I picked up my stuff after because I was traveling a lot, and so I went in and thinking it was just an episode, and I'm like, this is a really big episode, and I read it, but obviously none of it sunk in, and it was wild. And then I was like, oh my God, they're gonna freak, and I can't say anything. It was really hard to keep it a secret. Yeah, so I wasn't there for the record, but they can, I think those who
Well, we knew it was a DVD at the time, and we were surprised also, happily surprised when it morphed into that. And I think all of us that were there to record, and Nicole after, all were delighted to see this concept. Because really the whole point of it was, here we had our beloved characters still who they are and committed to their daily routines and the fun they had together, and now they were going into a completely different world that they weren't used to, still being who they were. So it was really fun to see what they were going to get into. And of course, with every show, we never know as actors what's going to happen until we read that script. So it's a discovery for us too, so it's always exciting. So that was a really fun twist.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
I forgot one more thing. I think everybody got like my idea of giving you pictures. I'm sorry, but I actually have a picture for Nicole and Michelle, and now I know that Maddie likes Doctor Who, so I also have a picture for her.
Thank you. Why don't you come over here and we'll keep the questions going, and,
Sure.
and I'll come meet you on the other side. How's that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I got a question for Brenda. Do you ever just get tired of rhyming sometimes?
No, you know, that's the challenge, and that's what my character is all about. So my job when I get the script is to try to make it such that it's not just a pedantic rhyme, that there is the message, and the message gets across. But sure, you know, I will say when I first got it, it was like, oh my gosh, what am I saying? What do I do with this? But that's the nature of what we do. We make it work. So no, I don't get tired of it because that's my character, and I love my character.
It's kind of like her language.
Yeah, that's Sakura, right? That's what's made her kind of unique.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you. And you know, here's something else I'll throw at you. It's really interesting for my personal background. I'm half Jamaican and half Trinidadian. And any Trinis or Jamaicans out there, by the way? No, yeah. Oh, I heard a one woo, a lone woo. Go to the island of Jamaica. They have all sorts of play on words and slang and patois and things like that, where it's kind of reminiscent of my character in a way. So there's a nice sort of relation that goes there that's parallel. So it's kind of cool.
All right. Thanks.
You're welcome.
All right, so I have a question for Michelle. So one of my favorite things that I like to see, like in shows and fandoms and stuff like that, is when people from the show work with fans, and you did that with Mando Pony. And I was wondering if there was any more possibility of stuff like that happening in the future.
Well, it's happening tonight, you know? Definitely doing more collaborations with Black Griffin and Living Tombstone and Mike the Microphone, and yeah, there's so many amazing Brony musicians, and I'd love to work with as many of them as possible. And I think working with them really gives more of a connection with the fan, and with the fan. There's only one fan, just one fan, with the fandom. And I like that. I like having sort of a personal connection with you guys. And there's sort of my little tie, you know?
Thank you.
This artwork is absolutely beautiful. Where's the artist? Could she stand up, please? Thank you. Look, that's just stunning. She's stunning. I don't know if you can see.
Hi, I'm Mark.
Hi, Mark.
And first off, I got into My Little Pony about a month ago at this time, and I just instantly fell in love with it, both because the show is just so gosh darn adorable, and all of you have the most adorable voices, do a great job with your characters. And I'm an aspiring voice talent myself, and for I'm doing an internship right now where I'm doing a coverage of BronyCon, like it's for my creative project. And I was wondering if I could ask all of you, what has the Brony fan base been like, considering you were all involved with this before it had even come together, and how has it been to you as opposed to other fandoms like in anime?
Wow, that's an interesting question, actually. I think all of us have done or do anime. I know I have done it for too many years, not never too many years, but a long, long time. And I think all the fandoms have a lot of things in common, which is the passion and love for the shows that they love. And it really boils down to, I think, different costumes and different angles of interest. But really, in some ways, I think the fandoms are very similar, because they create a community for the shows that they love, and they expand, and they go to these cons, and they cosplay in their own ways too, and they create games, etc. So I think there's a lot of similarity in it. What I do find with this particular fandom is the heart. The heart is huge, and it's expanding, and friendship is the theme. And I can't think of a better fandom than the My Little Pony group to express that.
I think there's a couple of kids I see, or younger people in the line. Can we let them come near the front? But we'll go over here to this question.
And while they make their way up, I just have a quick question for the crowd. How many of you became bronies or got involved with the show fandom and all that this year? Like, do you have a raise of hands here? Yeah, I mean, it's still growing. It's just crazy.
I would be really interested to know how many bronies there are now out there. Do we even have a guesstimation?
I heard an estimate. Well, they say that about 10% of all statistics are made up on the spot, and only 5% of those are accurate. But I heard somebody once say it was somewhere around 2-3 million. But
And Hasbro just introduced it to Japan, so that's another emerging. Apparently it's just going wild over there right now.
Friendship is magic, every pony.
It's such a special phenomenon, and we're so lucky to be a part of it. And this is just spectacular. I mean, who would have thought? I mean, we definitely would have never guessed this, but it was such a gift. And I'm still not processing that I'm here, and this is just blows me away. Really, it does.
Yeah, I love the Bronies' emphasis on kindness and friendship and everything. The Bronies are the best fandom.
My name is Sage. I have a question for Nicole. Do you enjoy voice acting as Princess Celestia?
Do I enjoy it? I love it. I absolutely love it. It's she's a very maternal, warm character, but she can be a bit of a hard at times. But I would never have thought that voicing a radiant unicorn would lead to this. This is very humbling. It's wonderful. It's wonderful.
I also have another question too for all of you. Would it be cool to see if the main six were dogs?
Yeah!
I think Kathy already gave an example of what that would sound like.
I think what would be awesome is if we tried to figure out what kind of dog each of them were.
Rarity would be a Chihuahua.
Okay, every pony, get drawing.
Yeah. Yeah. Discord would be a mutt. A cute
You
mutt.
said the word drawing, and there was a rustling in the
Yes.
audience. as
Draw
Everybody
them.
pulled out their
Go.
drawing pads.
Thank you for your question.
Thank you, Sage.
Stephen Magnet would be an Afghan.
Yes. Yes, you would.
Fabulous math can.
Okay.
Hi.
A half can.
I just wanted to say that I love all of you and your work, and I had a question for all of you. If by some strange reason you'd have to end up playing one of your fellow voice actors' characters on MOP, what would probably be your first pick?
Gummy!
In another program, a different character, or on the same, on My Little Pony?
On the same My Little Pony, but as a different character.
Oh.
Yep.
I probably want to do this one really, really loud! Don't hate, appreciate. Oh, no, wait, no, it's don't appreciate. What is it? No, don't apologize, criticize. That's it. Don't apologize, criticize.
I think I would like to play Fluttershy, but nobody does it like Andrea.
Oh, you're looking over
It's
this
not
way?
really a question, but thank you, Miss Oliver, for taking all of the kids to the lion, saving them a bunch of time.
You're welcome.
We all appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you. Enjoy your time. Thanks for your question.
Thank you.
Thank you.
First, before I ask my question, I wanted to tell you, Nicole, that we have the same birthday, and I'm very happy about that.
Yeah? And we're probably the same age, I'm thinking, too.
Probably not. It's just
I wish I was. No, I wish I was. What I mean is I wish I was young like you, not you being old bag like me. Oh, thank you. Go on with your question, sir. Happy birthday, Pisces girl. How old are you?
I'm 11.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, fellow Pisces. Happy birthday to you.
Now, my question is, how long did it take you guys to develop your voices to the right, character to the show, like the ones that you play?
Well, anybody going? I'll go after you.
Like, when we were first given the audition, how did we come up with the voice?
Yeah, like how did you guys get it to like the exact right sound?
Right. Good question.
Practice, 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 over again, tweak, go back in, fix it, change this, change that. Having a really good day, things sound really good. It's, for my character, it was just trying to find that right tone between not being too patronizing and being maternal. So that took a while. But I think different for everyone.
I think what happens too is that when we get the audition, we make a choice of what we think it should be. And if we get the job, then it takes a few episodes for sometimes even the client or the director to also agree what it is that feels right for them. So sometimes it takes several episodes or a few episodes before you really get a sense of what that character's like, and then it sits in there, and then with every show, it automatically develops because we learn more about our character as we go along. So it's a process.
For my character, she was originally Cajun French or something in the description, and I had no idea how to do that. And when I went to the audition, and I did my research, but you're kind of going, oh my gosh, I have no idea. What am I going to do when I go? And you're looking at the prep work you did, but I wasn't feeling 100% confident. And of course, it didn't help that when I did arrive at the audition, there were a number of actual Cajun French-speaking actresses that were there. And so I figured that it was in the bag for them. And when I went into the room, working with the director, he just said, well, what else, what else do you have? What's your background? So I did a little sort of a half Jamaican, half Trinidadian kind of mishmash, and that was a little too broad for them. They couldn't understand some of the, them drive the cat, them pick up them picnic them yam, They were like, what did you just say?
I understand that.
And it
I did
actually does make sense if you translate it. The parents take the kids for something to eat after school. Take them in the car and take them for something to eat. But it wasn't applicable to developing a character, so then we sort of slid a little bit more over to the African side, and we found a little balance of a bit of a West Indian and a bit of an African, but that was an audition that was a bit of a work in progress. And when I left, I did not necessarily feel like, yeah, I did great, I got it. It was like, okay, well, I got worked. I hope they liked it, and thank you very much, bye. And then I heard I booked it.
I auditioned for all 3 Crusaders, and I thought out of the 3 of them, Scootaloo was not going to be the one that I was going to get, because I've never done anything like that before, like anything kind of tomboyish. And, so then when I actually got a call back and got the part, I was like, ooh, what did I do for her again? Like, I kind of forget. Then I remembered, and yeah, I kind of wanted to, I kind of wanted to make it something tomboyish and something adventurous to suit her character, and I finally found that little rasp in my voice that I use, and yeah, that's how I got Scootaloo's voice.
I'd already done a project. It was called Little Jake, and I was Jake, and he was this young, like, southern boy, and he was really tomboyish and adventurous, like a slash between Scootaloo and Apple Bloom. But before that, I hadn't really even explored any southern accents at all. So I wasn't very experienced in it. So it took me a while to find out, what would best suit Apple Bloom. And Terry, our director, the voice director, he wanted it to be a little less country than Applejack. So it was just about finding that medium and exploring and finding new things and trying new things. And yeah, it's a work in progress. That doesn't make any sense, but it's a working process. That's what I was trying to say.
When I because Snips and Snails were the main cast, the show had already been established, and they just had Richard Ian Cox and I come in, and they knew they wanted to give us one of the roles, but we both I read for Snips and Snails, and so did he, and they just decided that Snails sounded a little bit more goofier, so they gave that to Richard. But Richard and I have worked together a lot, and so we have a really good comedy rapport. So it was just a matter of it was on the day. We went in, they said, okay, read this, read that, and then we went out of the room, they made their decision, we came back in, and they said, okay, you're Snips, and I said, okay, sure, I'm Snips, yay. So, hooray. So.
Thank you. We have a little guy over there. Hi.
I like Apple Bloom, and I can do the voice of it.
Do it.
Well, Apple Bloom.
Do it again.
Okay.
Wow. That was awesome.
With a voice actor in it. Pretty good. That's good. Yeah. Good stuff.
Thank you.
What's your name?
Ethan.
Ethan.
Yay,
Let's give a hand for Ethan.
Thanks, Ethan.
Good job.
And my dad likes Spike.
Yeah, I know. Thanks, Dad.
And thanks, Ethan, for sharing that.
Well, I've got good news and bad news. The bad news is that this has got to be the last question today because we've run out of time.
We'll be back, though,
But
everybody.
the good news is that there is another voice actor panel tomorrow. So if you can get your...
Come back.
So come back, and more questions can be answered. So, your last question.
What if Twilight Sparkle lose her cutie mark and sent back to Magic Kindergarten? Because I watched Lesson 0.
That's it. Okay.
Well, I think that's like a nightmare scenario, isn't it? I really like that episode. Do you like that episode?
Yes, I do.
It's like one of my favorites, like one of my top 3.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, so your question is, what if Magic Kindergarten and that whole nightmare became real?
Yeah, what if Magic Kindergarten and this nightmare came real?
I get the feeling that Spike wouldn't be too happy about that.
Oh.
There would be a lot more discord, wouldn't there?
Yes.
I think that'd be pretty chaotic.
Yeah.
I think Spike would probably not know what to do with himself, too.
Maybe Celestia would have kept teaching Sunset Shimmer or something, huh?
Oh.
Did that answer your question? Or do you have another one?
Well, this one goes to you, Tara. What would Twilight say if she got sent back to Magic Kindergarten?
Well, Tara's not.
Tara's not here, unfortunately.
But I think if she was sent back to kindergarten, Twilight Sparkle would probably have to write a letter about it. I don't think she'd be too happy.
Oh.
And well, what do you think she'd say?
Oh, no, 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 no.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good job.
All right, guys, let's give them a big round of applause. The voice actors.
Wait.
Thanks, every pony.
Thank you.
Wait, guys,
Thank you all very much. You guys come back tomorrow.
Sorry. One of my friends asked me to run an errand for Brenda, so.
What?
An errand.
Oh.
Thanks for coming, everyone. Have a great weekend.
See you tomorrow.
Have fun.
All right, folks, in exactly 15 minutes, we will be starting the Friendship is Witchcraft panel. So you will definitely want to stay tuned in for that.
Maddie Peters doing Scootaloo. Do we got the second mic up there? All right, we're good. So next up, that was just we get to see actually a lot of voice acting. I think that more and more we see these panels, the voice actors are more comfortable actually presenting the lines. I think when you looked at the conventions earlier, there was a little bit of reluctance. Maybe they realized that we're not crazy. Yeah. But they're able to, deliver some lines. I think it was quite fun. We saw Scootaloo and Apple Bloom in character. Kathy Westlock always delivering
she's
Spike.
a doll.
So much fun. And you know what was interesting? They didn't talk about it as much about Equestria Girls, but there was an interesting that they brought that up and discussed it a little bit.
It was not as bad as some people made it.
Come on, it was great.
It was awesome.
It was great. I enjoyed it. I quite enjoyed Equestria Girls.
I sat it down with my wife and my son on the back of my laptop, and we watched the heck out of it.
We watched it. We watched it. We enjoyed it,
So-
and it was interesting to see. I think Nicole Oliver's response was the best. I think
Yes.
she was saying, "Oh my gosh, there are humans." I can't imagine that she actually. Did she say that she recorded that whole thing not knowing that they were humans? That would have been interesting.
Yeah. I think she says until she actually read the script, she didn't know.
Yes. So you imagine showing up and your character is a different species. That's quite a situation to be blindsided with. Is to be able to show up in that situation. I think that Kathy being turned into a dog and all that stuff, I think that they enjoyed that quite a lot. So that was a good panel.
Yes, it
was.
was.
The first voice actor panel. We have another voice actor panel coming up tomorrow. And up next on the live stream, we have the Friendship is Witchcraft panel. Oh, this is going to be fun.
This is going to be interesting.
This is going to be fun. So stay tuned. That's coming up here soon. I'm Joe Stevens.
And I'm Mason Alcat.
Keep watching. We've got some more great footage coming up.
You're a voice actor, not a stage manager. Is that how you do the Celestia voice, like that?
It will be in the year 2034.
All right. Next up, Miss Kathy Westlock.
Hey, every pony, how you doing? Looking good, bronies. Looking real good.
All right, next, Brenda Critchlow.
Maybe I can use this.
Turn around this way. This way. Show us the back.
How y'all doing out there? All right, it is my pleasure to introduce the CSI Voice Actors Panel.
What? Anyway, well, I figured we could just go down the line and you guys could introduce yourselves and who you voice and, you know, introduce yourself to these people.
My name is Lee and I play Snips. As well, I also play
Stephen Magnet, the fabulous sea serpent. With only half a mustache. I think this is the new symbol now, I guess. I just made that up, I don't know.
They're going to come up to you at this convention, you know, now. Every time they see you, they're just going to you should do it.
And I think I also played the shopkeeper, but I can't remember what he sounded like. So
Make it up, make it up.
Yeah, make it up? Is it? No, I can't. And I also played the angry, the foul-mouthed beaver as well. As well. Yes, perhaps you know me as that character I played in one scene. Anyway, I'm really happy to be here. This is you guys are awesome. I was watching on the screen back. You guys are so silly. I love it. I love you guys.
My name is Nicole.
Hello, Baltimore.
Next up, our penultimate VA, Maddie Peters. All right, and last but not least, and I call her up to the stage last because she was hitting me with her badge backstage. I want her as far away from me as possible. No. Michelle Krieber.
I've got two chairs.
I'm special. I get 2 chairs.
Remember at Camelot Gardens where we were going to get you a booster seat, Michelle?
Wow. Okay. If that's how you feel about me, that's
No, it's okay. It's okay. Whatever.
That's cool. That's
whatever.
You know what?
Uh-huh.
My
Hello, everybody. My name is Final Draft, and I'm the network director of Everfree Network. Welcome to the first 2013 BronyCon VA panel. I would like to call up onto stage a few people of note, and I would like to begin with Mr. Lee Tokar. Lee, why don't you have a seat?
I love you too. I love Bane with the pony on the back. That's awesome.
We were watching what was on the screens from behind. It was hilarious.
Super fun.
Show's been taken down by Hasbro. It's great.
That was brilliant. That's brilliant.
All right, next I'd like to call up onto stage Nicole Oliver.